Hi guys, very good morning. This is me Abhilasha, your favorite PRC mentor, and I'm back again with one more episode of your favorite Aeon Hindu Weekends with Reading Comprehension. हम लोग अब कर रहे हैं weekends पे reading comprehension, यानी कि Friday, Saturday और Sunday को ये पूरा fun session, fun नहीं कहूँगी, there's a lot of learning involved. Anyone who's preparing for CAT-22, CAT-23, CAT-24 or for any other competitive exam, this is just the right course for you guys to begin with. Let me quickly check. I am audible and visible. Thank you so much for joining in, guys. Remember to hit the like button. Good morning, Shubham. Good morning, Rukmini. Very thank you so much for joining. Lovely Sunday today. Let's get started right away with our session. So of course, if you haven't yet connected with me on Telegram, जरूर connect कर लेना. अभी CAT से search करोगे, so you will be able to find my channel, which is called PRC 99.99. Practice, prepare and win. The next test happens today at noon. The All India Mock Test for CAT 2022. You can win scholarships and prizes worth a total of 25 crores. Know where you stand with an All India rank, and the CAT application fee reimbursements for top 1000 rankers is going to happen. All you need to do is scan this QR code to enroll for free. Nothing, no big deal. अभी भी कर लो, link description में है, तो शुरू हो सकते हो. Also guys, last mile to CAT, this is a very wonderful series that we are hosting from the 14th to the 20th of November every day. यानी कल से लेके 20th November तक हर रोज 6 hours of class will happen, right? 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. where you will revise all the topics and concepts. You will boost your preparation just before the exam under the guidance of your top mentors. Coverage of all the important CAT concepts, master the art of question selection and time management, and live practice of good quality question. All of this is happening, guys. मेरा सेशन भी होने वाला है. 17th को है मेरा सेशन 5 to 7. तो जरूर make sure करना that you are with me during this time. Alright, Unacademy CAT Elite एक बहुत ही प्यारा बैच है जो 10th नवंबर से स्टार्ट हुआ है. रवि सर, भारत सर, रौनक सर, उदित सर, शबाना मैम, माई सेल्फ, रितु मैम और रमन सर, हम सारे के सारे पढ़ा रहे हैं इस बैच में. दिस इज गोइंग टू बी द मोस्ट अमेजिंग बैच विच यू कैन गेट. बैच हाईलाइट सिंपल है, स्ट्रक्चर्ड कोर्सेज है, अनलिमिटेड एक्सेस है, 25,000 प्रैक्टिस क्वेश्चंस है, इन क्लास डाउट सॉल्विंग, performance evaluation and mentorship from CAT experts and IM graduates. ये सभी कुछ होगा आपके पास. Unacademy CAT subscription, if you haven't yet subscribed to our subscription, then this is just the right time. Plus subscription भी है, iconic भी है, plus में digital notes है, unlimited access है, live है, structured courses है, open house है, community है, live test है, raise a hand, ask a doubt है. इसके ऊपर से if you go and take our iconic subscription, you will get physical notes, GDPI, one-to-one live mentorship, live doubts, test analysis, guidance, Discord और plus के तो सारे benefits हैं ही. So you can of course take a subscription. Remember code वही रहेगा, code एक ही है अभी CAT live. Oh, let me write it in a cleaner writing. अभी CAT live. This is for your 10% off on all Unacademy subscriptions. Alright. Research first on the UGC move on research papers by PhD scholars. The UGC यानी कि University Grants Commission has come up with a new rule. Now what is this rule? Let's find a little bit about it from this Hindu editorial. So points to ponder. What is UGC? Of course, I've already told you, University Grants Commission. But what does UGC do? So ये क्या है जो करती है UGC जो और कोई नहीं कर रहा है, जो गवर्नमेंट नहीं कर रही है? That's the interesting thing. So I'm sure you can find out. If you know what it is, then quickly put it into the comment box. क्या होता है UGC? Guys, I hope सबने सेशन को लाइक कर दिया होगा और शेयर भी कर दिया होगा अपने बाकी groups में, so that others who are preparing can also take advantage of this wonderful session that I am doing every single. कर देना. Alright, let's get started. The University Grants Commission's decision to remove the mandatory requirement of getting research papers published in peer-reviewed journals before submitting a PhD thesis is a bid to stem the unhealthy practice of many scholars paying substandard predatory journals to publish their papers without sufficient review, which has weakened the quality of India's डॉक्टरल एजुकेशन। ओ माय गॉड, पहला ही सेंटेंस इतना बड़ा था, पूरी स्टोरी बता दी है इन्होंने। तो क्या स्टोरी है देख लेते हैं फटाफट। गुड मॉर्निंग पुष्पदान, गुड मॉर्निंग बासव, गुड मॉर्निंग सत्यम, गुड मॉर्निंग एवरीवन एल्स आल्सो। So the UGC has decided to remove this mandatory requirement. What was the mandatory requirement? That if you have applied for your PhD, then a certain number of papers have to be published by you in peer-reviewed journals. So what they have done, so because of that, what used to happen, people used to pay journals to publish their results. तो वो क्या करते थे, छोटे छोटे ऐसे बहुत फेक टाइप के जर्नल्स होते थे जो रिसर्च स्टूडेंट से कहते थे यू कैन पब्लिश, आई विल टेक सो मच मनी एंड यू कैन पब्लिश योर आर्टिकल्स विद अस एंड वी विल डू दिस एंड दैट। तो वो जो था एक जो इसेंशियल हो जाता था ना, उस वजह से दीज जर्नल्स वर चार्जिंग एनी अमाउंट ऑफ मनी फ्रॉम दीज अनसस्पेक्टिंग स्टूडेंट्स, राइट, फ्रॉम द अनसस्पेक्टिंग पीएचडी स्कॉलर्स। तो यही प्रॉब्लम थी और इसलिए गवर्नमेंट ने ये यूजीसी ने ये हटा ही दिया मैंडेटरी रिक्वायरमेंट को। सीन फ्रॉम दिस एंगल मतलब ये जो प्रेडेटरी एंगल है, तो यूजीसी's move is indeed the right one, apparently सही है। Studies have shown that a majority of doctoral students, so studies are showing that a majority of these students publish in such journals rather than go through the more time consuming process of submitting their drafts to reputed journals. So what they have found is that a lot of PhD scholars are submitting to these shady journals rather than applying to a proper good journal and then spending time and waiting for the journal to kind of present up, kind of publish their paper, awaiting review and revising. So they don't want to do that. Now interestingly, there are two sides to it. Is it that the doctoral student is also in a hurry to publish it and be done with it? That is why he's submitting to these shady papers, shady journals and not to reputed journals. That could be a question too that we are asking. And then if so, then how do you stop that? Given the insufficiency of scholarships and stipends, there is very little scholarship and stipends. Many students are also in a hurry to complete their doctoral degrees rather than taking the time needed for quality research. So the PhD scholars are trying to finish their PhD in as little time as possible. Maybe if the requirement is 3 years, do it in 3 years just, and not spend any more time on the PhD. So probably they are trying to finish their PhD in as less a time as possible. जितने कम टाइम में हो सके उतने कम टाइम में पब्लिश करना चाहते हैं। So ये भी एक डाउटफुल चीज है। The removal of compulsory requirement is also in line with global regulatory standards. So global standards do not ask you to publish paper. But that doesn't mean research scholars don't publish papers, because that is where the quality of their research comes in. But if you have done research, you are a researcher. For a PhD student, you are researching into that subject. If you don't have anything valuable to add, what are you doing then? So therefore, this is very interesting. Huh? However, while paper publication is not mandated in most countries, so it is not mandated in most countries, it is certainly considered essential for any top researcher, with many of the theses consisting in their entirety of published papers. So imagine a top researcher gets value from his published papers, and many times his thesis, his doctoral thesis, is just a research paper that he has published. So the value of research is much higher than somebody mandating it for you or not mandating it for you. And if the research is so valuable, why would students not want to spend time doing good quality research? That is a question we need to ask. The UGC has also emphasized that it would be advisable for scholars to publish papers in high quality journals for their own sake. अपने लिए करो अच्छी publications. as it would add value to their PhD for any postdoctoral opportunities. So it would add value, obviously. The regulator hopes that by removing the mandatory requirement, it can help create a more conducive atmosphere for self-motivated research by students and universities. Now they're saying if we remove this mandatory requirement, people will be self-motivated. But if there was a requirement and they were not motivated, तो अभी requirement हटा दोगे तो कैसे motivated होंगे? Very interesting and very tricky, huh? As is found in the IITs, which do not have such a requirement. So IITs don't have any requirement to publish, but people are going on and publishing papers and more and more. That's where the value of a researcher lies. And if it doesn't want to publish a paper, what research are you doing? Are you sitting around twiddling your thumbs? And if so, then why are you even a researcher? You are not. Alright, so a point to ponder here is why were students rushing to publish papers anywhere, and why did they not want to spend the time, make the effort to make their papers get published in good quality documents, in good quality journals. 3.5 years is minimum requirement for PhD. So in 3.5 years you cannot publish one paper or two papers. That is a shame. So somewhere our PhD scholars are also to be questioned. The removal of the mandatory requirement is also an acknowledgement of the diversity in academic disciplines. So there are different disciplines and each one of them has a different rule. Okay. In some branches of humanities, the publication of a monograph, one paragraph, is more accepted method of communicating with academic peers than journal peers. So, in certain fields, you can just publish a monograph and that's okay. While top computer science researchers may value conference presentations over journal publications. So, IT, computer science people will just want to do a conference presentation. Patents obtained are also seen as a better indication of the quality of research in some disciplines. So if you get a patent, well, you have done something valuable. Removing the mandatory requirement will thus allow for more innovation. So if you remove this mandatory requirement, there's going to be more innovation. There is, however, some concern that the removal of mandatory requirements. So now, what I was saying, those concerns come up. That if you remove the mandatory requirement, that will result in a further dilution of quality. So the quality will even go down. As the worth of a researcher and a university is judged on the basis of papers published and cited, with funding also dependent on such benchmarks. So if you are not able to publish a paper and if your paper is not cited in different places, then your research and your university's research might well be useless. So if so, and if the government does away with the mandatory requirement, these PhD people are not going to be publishing papers. So the reputation of our terrible PhD goes down even worse. Okay. To encourage students to publish in reputed journal even without a mandatory requirement from now puts the onus on university research advisory councils and doctoral supervisors to up their game. So now it is the duty of the doctoral supervisor and the university research advisory councils to push the students into publishing researches. Given that the reason students rush to publish is the need to quickly complete their PhDs due to financial constraints. So there is a financial constraint of the PhD students and they are in a hurry to finish it. Higher levels of funding are urgently needed to ensure that the UGC's move does not backfire. So somewhere, because the PhD students are not being paid adequately, they're rushing through their PhDs. They want to get out of this study. So they're rushing through the PhD. So if we paid them more, maybe they would have time to do their research in a better fashion and then take it forward. So that's one interesting thought, that should we be funding the PhD students in a better fashion? Alright. So which country publishes the maximum research papers in a year in the world? Come on guys, who's going to tell me? Which country publishes the maximum number of papers in the world in a year? Who knows this? Which country? Anyone, any idea? If you can, if you know this, you can put it into the comments very quickly. फटाफट डाल दो comments में कि क्या है correct answer. कौन सा country करता है सबसे ज़्यादा research papers publish? Anyone, any idea? I will give you two choices. Is it A, US or is it B, China? But that's for you to think and answer. मैं अभी आगे चल रही हूँ and at the end of the session I may just tell you the answer to this. Let's look at our questions now. What's the main idea of the passage? That the UGC has removed mandatory requirements to publish papers, that the removal of paper publishing mandate by UGC may backfire, and that the researchers need to up their game and do more research. What is the correct answer? Come on guys, answer तो फटाफट दे दो. Basava Prasad says China. Basav, देखते हैं तुम्हारा आंसर करेक्ट है या नहीं है. Come on guys, quickly give me the answer to this question. Waiting for your answers. Have I started getting my answer in? Wonderful. Santat says C. Samyak says, oh, US. Oh, Satyam says B. Rukmani says B. Wonderful. The correct answer here, let's take a look. UGC has removed mandatory requirement, but was that all we wanted to say? No, we also wanted to extend this. So this one, A is incomplete, right? It doesn't say everything that we wanted to say. Researchers need to up their game. Were we talking about the researchers as such? No. The article was very UGC centric. What has the UGC done? So again, C cannot be correct. So therefore, B, yes, is the correct answer. That removal of this paper publishing mandate by UGC may backfire. It is something that may just end up getting you more shoddy researchers. Really terrible ones. Even worse than the ones that we already currently have. तो हो सकता है कि ये और भी घटिया हो जाए. चलो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन पे आ जाते हैं. देखते हैं. Each of the following is true except IT researchers like to present in conferences. Patents are not the right way of showing quality of research. Monograph publications work as well for humanities. Come on guys, इसमें से कौन कौन से ट्रू है उसको एलिमिनेट करो, फिर जो बच जाएगा दैट विल बी योर करेक्ट आंसर. क्या देर आर सो मेनी 19 ऑफ यू हु आर वॉचिंग एंड लाइक सिर्फ 3 है. भाई लाइक तो कर दो प्लीज. गरीब टीचर को बहुत तड़प होती है लाइक की. संडे मॉर्निंग आज कल तो मैं कानपुर गई हुई थी, तो आज मैं उठी सुबह. आई जस्ट गॉट अप एट 7 and quickly made this PPT फटाफट, and then I was like okay now today I cannot miss this class. So of course guys आज AIMT है ना, तो AIMT 12 बजे से 2 बजे तक होगा और उसके बाद एनालिसिस होगी. सो माय पोर्शन ऑफ द एनालिसिस वाज सपोज्ड टू बी हैपनिंग एट 3 o'clock, बट नाउ इट विल हैपन एट 4:30. So from 4:30 to 5:30 we will do our analysis for the AIMT. Do make sure that you are coming in. All my CAT-23 students also, तुम भी लिखना AIMT. मैंने बोला था सबसे, ठीक है. 22 वाले तो लिखेंगे ही लिखेंगे, तो 22 वाले बच्चे मेक श्योर दैट यू आर हियर एट 4:30 and I will send out the link just before starting the session also. Alright, let's quickly take a look at the answer. सबने सही आंसर दे दिया है. IT researchers like to present in conferences is true, so cannot be my answer. Monograph publication works as well for humanities is true, so cannot be my answer. Patents are not the right way of showing quality of research is false, and therefore is the correct answer. So yes, B, everyone who did mark B, good job you guys. Alright, let's go to the next question. Here it is. Question number 3. Which of the following can be inferred? Doctors like to present papers in conferences for peer review. Quality of research is more important than quantity. And UGC has decided to remove mandatory requirement of patent publication. Very good. Tell me. Waiting for your answers. Yes, let's take a look. Doctors like to present papers in conferences for peer review. Well, this was not mentioned in the passage at all, so this is out of scope for us. Let me eliminate. Quality of research is more important than quantity. Well, yes, that was mentioned in the passage somewhere. So let me reserve this as an answer. I'm putting a star on this. Let's look at the last one. UGC has decided to remove mandatory requirement of patent publication. Well, there was no mandatory requirement of patent publication, so this is also incorrect. So boys and girls, yes, B can only be the correct answer. None of the others are possibly the right answer. So good job. I think all of you did get this one right. Wonderful. अच्छा तो अब बताती हूँ वो रिसर्च वाली थॉट को. ये रहे मेरे कुछ कैट 2021 के स्टूडेंट्स जिन्होंने पास किया और who are now currently studying in wonderful B schools. Interestingly, China is topping the number of papers presented. पर जो पैसे खर्च कर रहा है सबसे ज्यादा दुनिया में वो है यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स. So in terms of writing sheer quantity of papers, China has stopped it. It's gone beyond whatever any of the other countries are doing. But in terms of money that is being spent on R&D, it is US that still tops that. Interestingly, India is also among the top 3-4 countries who are publishing research papers and who are putting in money into the research. But but the quality of the research is not as good, because do you see a lot of inventions coming out of India? Not really. So it is this problem of the quality of research that UGC wants to handle by getting through with this. All right, so let's take a look very quickly. Remember 9 p.m. Monday to Thursday, यानी कल फिर से होगा आपका प्यारा वाला. You got it. वही वही प्यारा वाला daily section test. All right, hit like, share, subscribe and the bell icon everyone if you haven't yet done it. Bell icon दबा दोगे तो अगला वाला notification भी आ जाएगा. फ्राइडे सैटरडे संडे वीकेंड्स विद आरसी चलेगा, तो प्लीज मेक श्योर कि हर फ्राइडे सैटरडे संडे को हमारे साथ रहो. कैट एंड बियॉन्ड, ये नहीं है कि अभी आपके पास आईएफटी है, जैट है एंड सो ऑन, तो उनका भी ध्यान रखने हैं. If you haven't yet subscribed to Unacademy, then all you need to do is subscribe to Unacademy using AbhiCat Live. Simple सा कोड है ABHICATLIVE. AbhiCat जिंदा है और 10% ऑफ ले सकते हो on your next Unacademy subscription. Thank you everybody. I hope you have a nice day. I will see you for AIMT at AIMT analysis at 4:30 p.m. That's my time. 12 बजे AIMT में मिलो, जल्दी से टेस्ट लिखो और मजे करो. लिंक्स डिस्क्रिप्शन में. थैंक यू एवरीवन. सी यू सून.